Welcome to Timber&Terra. I'm Glenn. And this is, I think, part 3 for Homeowner Silviculture for the 2026 year. And I've had my eye on a couple of these sort of red maple clusters, if you will. This one here and that one right there. So I don't mind having a single stem, a single tree here, and I think that would be good because there's plenty of open space over there and over here, but having these multiple stems and this huge canopy is just unnecessary, and it's interrupting other stuff that can grow around it, I think, a little bit. So I'm going to start out with that. Either the straightest or the biggest or the most central stem is the one I'll leave. So like this one I'll keep here in this bunch. The rest of them I'll cut down. It'll be decent firewood. Over there it's a little bit bigger, some more stems, some more firewood. So I think we'll do that, and then I'll do that time lapse because it's going to be a lot of work and not a lot of excitement if it wasn't sort of sped up. And then we'll come back when I'm actually dragging the stuff out. So there we have it. 1, 2, 4 firewood logs. They're both, or all of them, are 32 feet long. So 8 logs in total. I do have some branches there on the bottom to cut off still, I noticed. And there we have a single stem. Why do I cut these off like this? It's really just my preference. It's just for looks. I don't think there's anything that's going to help the tree. In fact, it might even hurt it a bit, opening, exposing more of the wood. But when I've done this before on red maple, it doesn't seem to impact it at all. This will heal over pretty quickly. These will, deaden and heal over. But the tree itself generally will continue growing probably faster than before, since it doesn't have to share sunlight or a root system with all this other mass. All right, well, I'll hook these up, take them out, and come back and tackle that other tree. So there's our single stem. I like to take care of the slash as I generate it, meaning cutting it up, so it lays flat to the ground. But I'm gonna have to take care of this in the spring. There's some brush underneath there, and if I step there, I sort of go up to my waist. It's really not a lot of fun. So anyhow, that one's done. And this one is the next one. So this one is, I think, a bit bigger, a little bit more involved. You can see the field is right over there with the tractors, so it's pretty easily accessible to, drag stuff out, drag stuff down as needed. So trying to figure out which stem to leave. It's either going to be this one or that one, but this one is the straightest. It seems to have sort of the clearest trunk, the farthest up. This one has a bunch of big branches a bit lower. So as far as the silviculture reason for taking this down, as you can see, it this is, if all those branches had leaves, this would be sort of dark in here during the summertime. So there's that fir there, several. There's just firs everywhere that really can't establish themselves. There could be some seedlings underneath the snow, I don't know. If we take this down, I'm guessing if there aren't any seedlings, that some will germinate. There's a really nice red spruce tree right there. So that is sort of partially blocked by the canopy of this guy. But with everything except that stem removed, it'll be a lot more light here. It'll be hopefully a healthier tree. Might even grow into a saw log someday. At least, one log before you hit a bunch of knots. All right, same sort of things. Time lapse, doing most of the work, and then I'll come back so you can join me in the fun of dragging these things out. Boy, that is a lot of work. I think I have my Tai Chi workout for the week. So, I mean, the snow is deep here. Underneath here is an old stone wall. Basically when, you know, they cleared the field, pushed the stones off to the side, and this is where they set. And, you know, all kinds of brush, raspberries, you know, other stuff grows on here. So you step on the snow and you sink down to your waist. But I had to cut up the slash here really to you know, try to figure out where the firewood stems were. Some of the slash over there, same sort of thing. I'm going to wait till spring when it's easier to get around. I came close to damaging that spruce that I pointed out earlier, but looks no worse for the wear. Bent it over but didn't break it. So if you happen to notice, sometimes I cut my firewood logs funny like this. So what happens when I cut this up into 2-foot lengths from my firewood, you know, this is a 2-foot, so I'll cut it here, so it'll be a piece between here and here. So we'll basically split it here, and it becomes, you know, one straight piece that sort of split halfway, and then round the other half, and then this will be the other piece. So that's why it looks like that, rather than cutting it, you know, flush and then, you know, having an angle on the end. Well, silviculture wise, I think I've accomplished my goal, allowing a bit more light to hit this area. So hopefully some things will germinate and start to grow, and, you know, things like this, well, basically the fir and this spruce will have just a bit more light. I think I had a chain on that. It must have slipped off when I pulled the bunch. well, they're not the straightest firewood logs, but when I cut them up into pieces, they won't be quite as curvy. So I think that'll do it for this. Boy, that was a lot of work, just those 2 trees. You know, just some minor limbing. Well, I appreciate you tagging along for this, which is part 3. Part 4 will probably be next, so I hope you stay tuned for that. I appreciate you watching. Thank you.